Me and my mommy. Chapter 1. I've never gotten along with older kids. Then I met a kid who was 3,000 years old, and he was one of the nicest kids I ever met. Okay, maybe I'm getting ahead of my story. My name is Zack, and I'm in the 5th grade at the Riverside White School for Boys in New York City. My mom and dad are divorced, and I spend half my time with each of them. The half that I spend with my dad is always when weird stuff happens to me, like the time I'm going to tell you about. Dad had just bought me a new bike for my birthday, a 24-speed mountain bike. It was the coolest thing you've ever seen. Well, actually, you haven't seen it, but if you had, you'd think it was cool. It was cool. Anyway, I took it on a pretty long ride in Central Park. When I came home, Dad said to take my bike down to the basement and put it in our storage space. I have to tell you that the basement in our apartment building is one of the 3 creepiest places in the world. Everybody in the building stores junk down there. There are spider webs all over the place. The lights usually aren't working. In winter, the furnace makes creepy noises, and a kid named Kirill in the building told me an old janitor died down there, either died or was killed. I forget which. Kirill says at night you can sometimes hear his ghost moaning. So anyway, there I was in the basement. I didn't hear the dead janitor moan, but no sooner did I get my bike into our locker than I saw something interesting in the storage bin next to ours. It belongs to our neighbor, Mrs. Taradash, to the one who has all these weird stuffed squirrels and rabbits in her apartment. What I saw in her space was a battered up old wooden box with a funny shape. I thought it was a case for a bass violin. I've always wanted to learn how to play a musical instrument. If Mrs. Taradash had an old bass violin that she wasn't using, maybe she'd let me learn to play it. Mrs. Taradash's bin wasn't even locked. I went inside it. Don't ask me why, because it was plenty creeped down in the basement. And once I got inside, I saw that the case was definitely not for a bass violin. Now that I was up close, I could see that the box was in the shape of a body. Don't ask me why, but I decided to open it. It was tough to get the cover of the body-shaped box. Once I did, I wished I hadn't. It was too dark in the basement to see much, but it was light enough to see what was inside the case. It wasn't a bass violin. It looked like a human body. A not very big human body, about my size and completely wrapped in cruddy old bandages from head to toe. Suddenly I knew what I was looking at. I had just opened the mummy case, and underneath all those cruddy old bandages was a real live mummy, actually, a real dead mummy. The thought made my skin crawl, but as creeped out as I was also pretty interested. It didn't smell as bad as I thought it would be. It would. It smelled a little like dried hay. I leaned closer to get a good look at the mummy. That was when it moved its arms. I completely freaked out. I screamed and slammed the cover of the mummy case. Then I got the heck out of there. I didn't even wait for the elevator. I ran up the stairs screaming the whole way. Chapter 2. Come down, Zack, said Dad. What are you so excited about? A mummy, I shouted. A mummy is the basement. What? Somebody's mum is the basement? No, a mummy. A dead person wrapped in the bandages. And it's alive. You're not making sense, Zack. How could there be a mummy in the basement? And how could a dead person be alive? I grabbed Dad's wrist. I'll show you. Come on, hurry. What's the rush? Dad asked. If it's a dead person, it's not going anywhere. Dad was not taking me seriously. So down in the basement, I dragged Dad over to Mrs. Taradash's bin. I pointed at the mummy case. I pointed at the open mummy case. There! Wow, said Dad. It is the mummy case. Mrs. Taradash told me she went to Egypt a couple months ago. This must be something she brought back as a souvenir. When can we ask her about it? Not for a few months, said Dad. A few days after she got back from Egypt, she left for a trip to India. I should tell you that I don't get along too well with things from Egypt. Once on a class trip to the temple of Endor, I got scratched by an Egyptian cat goddess and started turning into a cat, but that's another story. Let's take a look inside the mummy case, said Dad. I'm sure Mrs. Taradash won't mind. He walked up to the mummy case. I couldn't look. Zack, said Dad, there's nothing here. The mummy case is empty. What? I said. I walked over to the mummy case and looked inside. He was right. The mummy was gone. Dad, you've got to believe me, I said. The thing was here 3 minutes ago, I swear. Then I noticed something, a little sign on the front of the mummy case. What's that? I said. I pointed to the sign. Can you read what it says? Dad leaned close to the mummy case and squinted at the sign. Oh, it's nothing, he said. He seemed a little nervous. Nothing? How could it be nothing? Oh, it's just some kind of warning or something, he said. I wouldn't take it seriously. Let me see it, I said. I leaned close to the mummy case and squinted at the sign. Here is what it said. Whosoever disturbs the sleep of the mummy will be cursed. This is not a joke. Chapter 3. That night I just couldn't get to sleep. At midnight I went into the kitchen. What's wrong? Why can't you get to sleep? Dad asked. Are you kidding me? I said. Didn't you see what that sign said? Whosoever disturbs the sleep of the mummy will be cursed. Who do you think disturbed the sleep of the mummy? Me! I wouldn't take it seriously, said Dad. There's no such thing as a curse. Oh no, I said.